The game audio never recorded, so I placed the music and sounds in myself. So, sorry if it sounds off at points, and not because the game is just off itself. Greetings, Warlocks. This is your favorite Warlock Kadash, and welcome back to what has gone from being my most dreaded game to my fucking nightmare, or what is quickly becoming my goddamn nightmare. So let's continue. We saw Monica mentioned that she's starting a literature club, and the screen kind of glitched out for a second, and so now we're gonna get back into it. Let's see what crazy fucking messed up shit we're gonna see now. A literature club? That sounds kind of dull. How many members do you have so far?
It's kind of embarrassing, but there are only 3 of us so far. It's really hard. Wait.
Okay.
It's really hard to find new members for something that sounds so boring.
Well, I can see that.
But it's really not boring at all, you know. Literature can be anything: reading, writing, poetry. I mean, one of my members even keeps her manga collection in the club room.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's funny, right? She always insists that manga is literature too. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess.
Oh, wait, I didn't mean to do that.
And besides, a member is a member, right?
Did Monica say she?
Hey, Markimo, by any chance, do you have any cigarettes? I mean, are you still looking for a club to join? And do you have any cigarettes?
I mean, I guess so, but in that
case, is there any chance you could do me a big favor? You got a nice big fat stick of cigs that I can use?
I don't smoke. I don't know much vernacular of smoking.
I won't ask you to join, but if you could at the very least visit my club, it would make me feel very happy. Please?
Well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Besides, how could I ever refuse someone like Monica?
Sure,
I guess I could check it out.
Awesome. You really are sweet, Marky Moo. Like a nice chocolate cigarette.
I think they have flavored cigarettes.
Marky Moo, you know that?
It's nothing really.
Shall we go then? I'll look for the materials another time. You're more important. Even more important than those sweet, tasty cigs. And the slow emphysema that I'm developing in my esophagus.
And thus today marks the day I sold my soul to Monica and her irresistible smile. This is gonna be crazy. I timidly follow Monica across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year classes and activities. Monica, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Oh my god! I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
I'm back.
And I brought a guest with me. Please, do not enter in a freaky way. Oh my god. Girl 1. A guest?
Seriously, you brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Don't be mean, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club, Marky Moo.
All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. So they should have thrown in like an extra glitch right after that, just for a little comedic effect as well as creepiness.
So let me guess, you're Monica's boyfriend, right?
What? No, I'm not. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year.
Anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual. And this is Mrs. Doubtfire, the vice president.
It's nice to meet you. Mrs. Doubtfire, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you.
So I ran into Marky Moo in the classroom, and he decided to check out the club. Isn't that great? Wait, Monica! Didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was going to, well, you know... Sorry. I didn't forget that. but I just happened to run into him.
In that case, I should at least make some tea, right?
Yeah, that'd be great. Why don't you come sit down, Marky Mouse?
God, it's already a strain on my voice. The girls have a few desks arranged in to form a table. Mrs. Doubtfire walks to the corner of the room and opens the closet. Meanwhile, Monica and Natsuki sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monica.
So, I know you didn't really plan on coming here, but we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone.
I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. Must be hard to start a new club.
You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort into starting a new brand. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events, like the festival, that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki?
Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. With such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these two. Yuri returns to the table carrying a cup of tea. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before sitting down at the teapot in the middle. Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. Oh, the tea, whatever. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess.
Don't let yourself get intimidated. Mrs. Doubtfire is just trying to impress you.
That's not insulting. Mrs. Doubtfire looks away. I meant that, you know... Man. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Mrs. Doubtfire faintly smiles in relief.
Ah, damn it.
So, Marky Moo, what kinds of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, yep. Manga. I mutter quietly to myself, half-jokingly. Manga. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that could change, you know. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Mrs. Doubtfire? Well, let's see. Mrs. Doubtfire traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds, and the creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing. Good storytelling is. I guess. I guess I can skip part of the dialogue a bit since we've read it all in the beginning. But at the same time, I don't know what's going to change since Sayori is not here. Yuri goes on, passionate about her reading. So, she seemed so reserved and timid the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Like, you know, blood. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Also, vampire romance novels. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped at something I can relate to. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock.
I'd expect that from you. I'd expect that from you, Mrs. Doubtfire. It suits you.
She didn't say that before.
She didn't say that before at all.
Really, if a story can make me think or take me to another world, I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment.
I hate horror.
Oh, why is that?
Well,
Natsuki's eyes dart at me for a split second.
Never mind. That's right, usually you like to write about cute things, don't you? But what? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind at the last club meeting. like you were working on a poem called...
Don't say it out loud! And give that back.
Fine, fine.
Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? Now? Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not very confident writer yet? I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers and show this person vulnerabilities, whatever.
Do you have writing experience through Mrs. Doubtfire? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers.
I guess it's the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment.
I got an idea. Let's all have a cigarette break. How about this?
Natsuki and Mrs. Doubtfire quizzically look at Monica.
Is she going to ask us for another cigarette break?
God, I hope not.
Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way everyone is even.
I mean, I thought it was a good idea. Well, I think you're right, Monica. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I decided to take the responsibility of vice president. Was she vice president before? Or was that Cyrus? Or was there even a vice president? I don't know. I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Marky Moo? Hold on, there's still one problem. I didn't actually agree to join the club. Yep. Monica, convinced to stop by, never made this decision. Still other clubs to look at lose my train of thought. But all three of these girls look at me with deject in their eyes. Deject. What does deject mean? I don't think. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna Google what deject means, and I'll tell you all in the next episode. Thank you all for watching. Have a good one. See you next time for more crazy, creepy bullshit.